Hello everyone. We are going to be discussing some topics. We're going to be discussing feminism, we're going to be discussing alternative fashion, we're going to be talking just what it's like being a woman and stuff. But we thought it might just be a bit more interesting to have something else to focus on while we're talking. So you're actually going to be watching us colouring. We've printed out some colouring pages. I just found these on Google. Don't know who the artists are.
Yeah. Credit to the artists,
Yeah.
whoever you are.
Whoever you are. But yeah, we just
Very
thought it would be a nice accompaniment. I'm Brooke. I run MAUDS Designs. You may, if you've already been on our site before, you may recognise the lovely Letitia, also known as Sempiterna.
Underscore.
Yeah, underscore. Don't forget the underscore. She's written a couple of blogs for us. She's been on a lot of our photos. And in fact, nearly every time that we've had a photo shoot, Tish has been really, really helpful. A lot of the stuff that we have wouldn't be here without her. So it's very important that we have Tish on the YouTube channel, of course. So yeah.
I'm very excited.
I'm very excited. Shall we get going?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I've got Barbie. Here we go.
I think I'm going to start with Gaga.
And then we'll work our way through these colouring pages as we...
Okay.
Mine's going to be a dark skin girl.
Oh, nice. Dark skin Barbie, you don't see it enough. Do you remember there was like, I don't know if she was mixed race. I had a mixed race Barbie, I think. It was like, it was a beach girl.
Ooh, was it Chrissy? Christy?
It might have been. I don't remember.
Yeah, I had a Chrissy doll.
But she was really cool. She had like a sarong and a cool bikini. But yeah, I don't know how, I don't keep up with toys enough to really know if inclusivity is really...
No, I
changed.
actually went to Hamley's about 2 days ago.
Okay.
And there were those dolls, you know, they kind of like My Girl dolls.
Right.
And there wasn't a single one that looked like me. There wasn't one.
Still.
Wasn't one, yeah, in 2019.
Crazy. But the thing is, you would have thought like it's not even like I always go back to Reese Witherspoon, as you know. but like Reese Witherspoon said, like it's not as if we're doing it out of charity. Like, oh, we think it would be nice.
No.
There is a genuine market for, you know, more inclusive toys and more inclusive films and books and all sorts of media.
People want to see themselves reflected.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important because, you know, that saying, you can't be what you can't see.
Right.
It's important for young kids to see themselves reflected in the media they consume and to be able to imagine themselves as whatever they want to be, whatever they want to do. You know, when I was a kid, I was majority playing with white dolls.
Right.
And that gave me then the ideas of like what beauty is, what aspirational things are.
Yeah.
Okay, we're picking terrible colours. She's just going to be whatever this colour is. I've had enough.
Okay, mustard stockings. That's quite cute though. It depends what you do with the dress, in all honesty.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
No, but I think your role models do begin with like the toys you play. Because I mean, we see it now that like Polly Pocket has become huge again.
Huge. Like they're huge.
Something I've learned when I was trying to sort of research ideas for designs and stuff is that nostalgia itself will never go out of fashion.
Yeah, for sure.
Ever. But yeah. That brings us on nicely to talk about female icons and role models.
Who are some of your female icons?
Obviously Gaga.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Tish actually met at a Lady Gaga concert
6.5 or 7.
6.5, 7-ish years ago. And we've been friends ever since. So we both know that Lady Gaga has a huge, huge part in our hearts.
Yeah.
Huge space. Aside from Lady Gaga, what are your... should we say top 3 or top 5 female?
I'd say top 3. 5 is a really long number.
Don't like that many girls.
Yeah, give it 3.
Who are your top 3?
I think it changes as I grow up. I really respect and admire Anne Hathaway. I feel like she really like... I think she's great.
Yeah.
I think that she's someone that people our age at least have kind of followed through her career. You know, we were watching her in Princess Diaries, which I think is excellent.
It is.
And then, you know, I was watching her in The Dark Knight Rises and Les Miserables and all these things. I just think she's a great woman, and I think that she's also political minded, because I follow her on Instagram. And yeah, I think she's excellent. I think she's probably my favourite female actress. For sure.
As you already know, I really like Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what acceptance speech it was. I think it might have been for Gone Girl. No, I think it was after that.
Yeah. It was something, and she was very...
I think it was Glamour.
Yeah, it was
Glamour Awards.
when she was talking about directing as a woman.
Yeah.
And she was talking about representation in that speech, wasn't she, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, yeah. That's when she said, you know, like, there's a market for female leads and there's a market for...
Because she was told that there wasn't.
But there is. But it's like today, we went to see the video game exhibition at the V&A, and at the end, well, sort of in the middle, they had a section talking about, like, the more controversial aspects of video games, wasn't it? And they said that, was it 1% of video game developers are black?
It's ridiculous. It's
1%.
I think that's crazy. I think when you think about representation across the board, I remember looking at professors and who works as a professor, and again, it was something ridiculous. Like 1% of professors are black and female, and I'm just thinking, like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
There are so many black people and women going into education. How is it that we are not being represented in these things? And it disheartened me because I was thinking about going into, like, academia. And then when I saw that I wasn't, like, people like me aren't represented at all, I was like, well, why would I bother trying to get into that then if people like me don't get jobs in that field?
That's true.
So
it's a tricky line, isn't it? Because you kind of think the fact that there isn't that representation there yet, there's almost a gap for you. Yeah. But then you also think, is life that kind where...
For me...
Yeah, you're just given a pass because you're someone that's underrepresented. You know, does it mean it's going to be harder for you? Because obviously people must have tried before and failed.
Yeah.
It's that tricky line, isn't it?
It's difficult to know. Who else are your female role models?
Definitely my friends.
Yeah.
I think so many girls have that, like, 1 or 2 or 3 sort of, like, close group, don't they? And they all just, like, you dish to them, you've got your group chat, you've got all of that stuff. And I think that honestly makes... I look at the qualities in my friends and I kind of think I'd love to be more like this or more like that. So surrounding yourself with a mix of people really inspires you to do something, you know.
I think female friendships are so important. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sat next to you right now. But I think that they're so important. I've been in situations where I've not really had a group of female friends.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the way you look out for each other and you help each other to grow. And I think that another thing that's really important is just the general idea of girls looking out for other girls, you know, putting aside this need to be jealous of each other, because that's what we're programmed to do. Yeah. Like, oh, Brooke's got really nice hair. Instead of being like, wow, you have really nice hair, I should be jealous of it and have that reflect on me, rather than just celebrating good things about other girls. I think that...
Yeah. But it's funny, isn't it? Like, it all comes out when you have a drink and you go to a club toilet. And, like, we're able to do it then. We're able to do it when we're intoxicated. But when it's sober, and it's like, if I walked up to someone... if I gave a random girl a compliment, you don't know what way it's going to go. Maybe they'll be really nice about it and be like, oh, thank you. Or maybe it'll be more like...
That's because I went through a phase of going out of my way to compliment girls. If I saw that they looked good, I went out of my way to compliment them and say, oh my god, you look really beautiful, or I really like your coat. And a lot of the times girls would be like, oh my god, thank you, you know, because they didn't expect it. And the only time that we receive compliments is when they are compliments and they're coming from men who were like your legs and stuff like that. So when you receive it from a girl and you know it's a genuine compliment, that feels really good. But also there's no kind of guarantee that that's the reaction that you'll get. Because
Yeah.
some girls are just, I don't know why they react like that, but, you know, maybe it takes them aback, maybe they are not used to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think we should make it a habit.
Yeah. I think it's definitely a pattern, isn't it, of thinking.
Yeah.
If you grow up thinking that it's you against every other girl, I know we're not explicitly told, we're not told in school.
But we think that,
it's
don't we? Yeah.
subconscious.
Because, you know, ultimately we're meant to compete with other girls for the attention and the approval of guys.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's kind of sad, you know, because...
It's really sad. I also look a lot at, for me, like female-run businesses that have succeeded.
Yeah. Who are your favourite female-run businesses?
So I started following like the Unicorn Lashes when they came out. They were Unicorn Lashes and now they're Unicorn Cosmetics.
Yeah.
Because they've just expanded massively, yeah. Cool though.
Do you think that businesses, especially online businesses, have any responsibilities?
100%.
What do you think those responsibilities are?
You know, when you've got companies like Zara, Dolls Kill, they have beautiful clothes, but so much of it is stolen from smaller designers. So I think that, for one, if you're going to be an online retailer, do something original.
Yeah.
And if you are going to use someone's designs, then just credit them somehow.
Or work with them.
Yeah, work
Support
with
the
them.
smaller business.
Give them a job.
Yeah.
Give them a check
Bring
for
them
the
onto
one
the team,
t-shirt
yeah.
you've stolen or whatever it is. You know, there's so many ways you can involve outside creativity without having to just
Steal it.
yeah. And I think it works out better in the long run.
I feel like this is going to be cut out.
I've seen a couple of instances where
No
people have like
way.
pulled out. Yeah.
And so what messages do you want people to take away from what you do as a business? What would you like, you know, what would you like people to have the idea that that's what you stand for?
Definitely the freedom to dress in a way that makes you happy, because ultimately, like, yeah, my personal values are feminism and inclusivity and, you know, all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, I sell clothes and accessories, so more talking from the business perspective, it's having the freedom to just wear things that make you happy.
Right.
You know, I dress in a way that's slightly different to everyone else. I'm not saying everyone needs to start dressing like me.
Right.
But I think it's when you go out or you're doing something and you just make the effort to dress differently to how you normally do, and you feel really good because you're like, oh, I'm all dressed up. I want to have that feeling like every day.
Yeah, I do feel different when I'm dressed up. Like, you know, if I'm just going to the shops, then I'm just going to put on a pair of jeans and like a jumper. And, yeah, I'm just like blending in. But sometimes I do like to express myself with the clothes that I wear. I can't even say that I have one specific. You know, there's a lot of people, they like to wear rainbow or they like to wear whatever. I can't say that because sometimes I really like wearing black.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I really like wearing like red or you know, colours. I don't have a specific thing that I could consider myself, because I want to tell different stories and I want to kind of express myself with.
It's funny though, because I see a lot of it, and I follow a lot of people who do commit in that way to an aesthetic, we'll say. And then I follow people who lightly follow, and then I follow people who just dress alternatively generally and will have like different looks all the time. Like Internet Girl, I don't know if you follow her.
No, I don't.
She's really cool. So she normally dresses quite gothic, but I wouldn't restrict her to a single aesthetic. She just always looks cool, whatever she wears. And it's like, it's funny now because like we talk about it a lot when we say, if you're into dressing kawaii, for example, everyone within that subgroup, they're not just dressing the same way, but they're often dressing from like the same brands.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of, because the thing is, if you're into it, I mean, there are some kind of subcultures where they're very specific. You know, I got married in Lolita, and it's very specific. If you're wearing brands like Baby the Stars Shine Bright and Angelic Pretty, that's considered brand. And then if you get something that's frilly but from Forever 21, that's off-brand.
Yeah.
And like it's considered as being outside of Lolita.
Yeah.
But then when you think about other fashion styles, there are a lot of brands that kind of dominate that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think that...
Everyone should be allowed in.
Yeah.
Even if you're not wearing...
brand, which is really expensive. It's
Yeah.
I mean, dressing alternatively is expensive, and I think that's one way that it's almost exclusionary. Because if you look at the big brands, you're paying like £50 for a dress, and not everyone can afford that.
Yeah, and that's one outfit.
Yeah, one outfit.
And you haven't even got the accessories to go with it that supposedly make you part of that.
Yeah, it's really exclusionary, and I think that's something that should be addressed because. Let's be honest, it's just clothes.
Yeah.
We don't have to keep it exclusive. And it's not even like we're going into the realms of like Gucci and Prada and blah blah blah. We're literally it's just clothes. It's just a dress.
Yeah.
We don't need to keep it exclusive.
Yeah.
But I think that's just a general problem with alternative fashion, I find, because
definitely.
I don't feel like everyone is represented.
Yeah.
At all. I think that if you go on a lot of like blogs that repost alternative fashion bloggers, there is a specific type, and they're all very slim, very white,
or very pale Asian. I find as well. Very pale Asian girls.
Yeah, you won't see someone who's like Filipino or something like that. And I think, I mean, I've always dressed the way that I dress, even when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I never got that point where I was like,
woke up one day,
I can't wear these things because I have dark skin.
Yeah.
I never had that.
Yeah.
But there have been times when I'm like, can I wear pastel pink? Like, I've not seen it on people that look like me. Can I wear that colour? And I'm like, you know what? Yes, I can, because I can put it on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can put it on my body. But I don't know. I think that we need to stop seeing it as like, oh... Well, first of all, the big problem is that some of these brands don't go above like a certain size, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the second problem is that if you only portray certain people as able to dress in these fashion styles, it means that people who don't look like that, like me, start to think, can I wear this? Can I? And honestly, yes.
Yeah. Yes,
you can, because if you decide to wear it, you are part of the movement to change what alternative fashion looks like. And another interesting thing, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Another interesting thing that I noticed as someone who dresses alternatively and is black is you also find that certain people think that you're trying to be something that you're not. Right. Like, you'll get people saying, well, why are you trying to dress white?
That's crazy.
Dress white.
It's crazy.
What should I be wearing? Like, Rasta hats and like...
Oh my god! Could you imagine? That's just so not you, though.
Yeah, I do want to knit myself a pink Rasta hat. I think it would be fucking funny.
that would be sick.
Just,
what, with like the pink and the yellow?
Yeah, it would be
so
cool, right?
Red, you can have a pink.
Yeah, like pastel Rasta hats. Oh my
Gap
god.
in the market.
I am going to knit a pastel Rasta hat.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's like appropriate in my own culture. The Rastas are like, here she is. Rast Trentina.
She doesn't even smoke.
I know. But like, that's what I mean. I just don't get it. Like, dressing white. Like, how do white people dress? Lederhosen? I don't, like, what? Like, what? It doesn't make any sense. What do you think, speaking of, like, you know, politics on the internet and things like that, what does the word feminism mean to you?
I think it's so much deeper than equality of the sexes. Because I will see so many people that will point blank say, if you believe in equality of the sexes, you're a feminist. And I think, obviously, but I think it's so much more important than that. Because I could say that to one person, and they could interpret that. There could be 99 people in the room, and one person could interpret that as like, okay, so this means that we need more rights for women and we need equal pay. And then I can say it to someone else, and it could mean I just want to leave the house without being catcalled. I want to walk out. I want to walk outside at night feeling safe as I would if I was a man. And I could say it to someone else, and it could be like, we need to stop putting so much pressure on men to be this like macho character. And I think they're all valid.
And even globally, when you think about it, because we live in a relatively safe country to be a woman.
Yeah.
When you look at, say, if you speak to a woman in a different country, these things are like luxuries.
Yeah.
And she would like to be able to go to school.
Yeah.
Or she would like to be able to, you know, not get raped.
Yeah.
I
Not
mean,
have
that
her genitals.
yeah, mutilated.
Yeah.
So, I think it means a lot of different things globally. What does it mean to you?
To me, I think I focus a lot on the positivity side of things. And it's quite, like, for me, I had this kind of phase where I sat down and I thought about it, and I was like, okay, we're all definitely stronger together rather than having this whole competition mindset. So now, if I do get, like, it's natural to feel jealous of a girl that's stunning and she's something you want to be, but it's like, instead of thinking, well, I hate that girl, you know, like, it's thinking, okay, why do I actually dislike her? Is it for something she's done? Is it something, you know, it's changing that mindset of just immediate negativity, and it's thinking, how can I make things better, not only for me, but for my friends who are girls and things like that. Another thing I focus on a lot is the male perspective of it, because I think, you know, sometimes it's not their place to say something, but I think a lot of the time they will have a valid opinion just because it's an issue that doesn't affect them. There's definitely something they can contribute. And I think as well, we're never going to make progress if we just say this is a woman's only issue and this is, you know, not your domain. I think everyone needs to be in on the conversation to get to that point where we're all happier.
But I think that men need to be open to that conversation being had. I think that
there's so many men who will just not
have that conversation. And I think men need to be open, because one thing that I think is definitely true is that men have a lot to gain from feminism. They have a lot to gain.
It upsets me when they don't want to realise. It's like, I mean, you get men's rights groups that just say, oh, well, what about child support, and what about the male suicide rate? And it's like, actually, I do care about those things.
Yeah, I care about those things.
You just assume I don't.
care about those things. And I have a lot of guy friends, and I have a lot of compassion for them when they say, you know, I have a friend who is asexual. Yeah. And he feels like he feels ridiculed by guys. Yeah. Because he doesn't want to go out and have as much casual sex as possible. He doesn't want that for himself. Yeah. And that's again something that we should talk about. Yeah. 100%. The way that we assume men should have to be a certain way, act a certain way.
Definitely. I just think it's sad. It's like you hear people from men's rights groups, and the things they complain about are usually already covered by feminism, and you would know that if you just took the time to listen instead of deciding immediately because it's got the word feminist in it that it's against you. I'm not against you.
Yeah, I'm not. We're basically
we want to help,
working for the same thing.
Yeah, we are. It's just sad. It's like, instead of you know, saying bloody social justice warriors and bloody feminists and this and that, you know, feminazis is one I see all the time. It's like, I'm not a feminazi, I just don't want to be raped.
And it really, it's kind of an offensive thing to say, actually.
You know, I just think it's a shame, because we could get so much accomplished if we all just stuck together, but instead you want to take that position and just, you know, it's sad. Yeah.
What do you think of the Gillette commercial that came out recently?
Oh my god, so I've had conversations with a couple of my guy friends about this, because when it came out I thought it was really good, and I was very confused about the backlash because I thought it's so massively unpopular. It's got to be something more than just bloody social justice warriors. I think there's got to be something else. But the only answers I've managed to come up with are that it's patronising.
Right.
And then I think, okay, is it that it's not that people have a problem with the message, they just don't want to feel patronised? I don't know. I find it hard because I think they had really good intentions. And the other problem is people are saying it's not Gillette's place to say this kind of thing. And then the alternative is, well, it's good they're using their platform to say this kind of thing. So it's a really mixed bag.
Whose place is it to say this kind of things? If not...
If not such an iconic brand for men. Yeah.
Whose place is it?
Yeah.
Because we can be... I think it's a very accessible brand. You know, not everyone is going to follow. Not everyone's going to read academics and people that are talking in... Not everyone reads the newspaper. Not everyone is engaged in social media.
Yeah.
And if they are, they're not necessarily following. So, actually, I feel like they did that quite well. And if... I don't know if it was patronising because I wasn't the target.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I watched it and I thought, they've done it so well.
Great, yeah.
I watched it and I was thinking, oh my god, they've really hit the nail on the head.
But is it patronising or is it that people just don't want to
hear it?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the thing.
Because
I think people had a problem with the scene where the kids were fighting and they were like, you're not allowed to play fight. But I took it as the kid was being bullied and they were stepping in.
And they were saying boys will be boys.
Yeah.
And that's how it is.
Yeah. So there's definitely a mixed message there. I don't know.
I liked it. I think it came from a good place.
Yeah.
And it said... I think it distributed a message that was kind of only being distributed by... basically on social media platforms that not a lot
Probably
of people engage with. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you can argue, why aren't you putting the voice of women in that place? But then I think there are a lot of guys that wouldn't necessarily listen to that.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I don't know if it worked. I don't know if there were guys that kind of sat back and thought about it.
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of men would watch that and just dismiss it.
Yeah, straight away.
And be like, I'm throwing out all... You've seen it all before, haven't you? Like, I'm throwing out my Gillette razors.
Yeah, they're throwing it down the toilet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like when
don't take
Nike...
it out of the ocean.
Was it Nike supported...
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so people were kind of like destroying their Nikes, which was just...
It's like funny though, because I rate Nike for that, because they knew that they would legitimately lose.
They would lose out. Because Nike, it's not like it's just black people that buy Nike.
Yeah.
It's white people and probably Republicans who don't support what Kaepernick is doing.
Yeah.
And they knew they would lose out, and they said, you know what, actually this is a bigger thing for us than our bottom line.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think that hashtags work?
What, like Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter and Me Too
and Time's Up.
Yeah,
and
things like that.
It's a mix, because I only ever see it used in headlines against these movements. I see Black Lives Matter at it again, and I see Me Too is at it again. I don't see often, I mean, like, I see it a bit, but I don't often see the rate of reported rapes has gone up because of the Me Too movement. You don't see those headlines as often.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's because it's just not being reported or whether the actual stuff is working, but it's hard to say, isn't it? I mean, I think it's good, obviously, that it opens a conversation, because you're not gonna have any sort of change in the world without conversation first, obviously. But at the same time, how much it actually does in the long run, I think it can be kind of damaging sometimes to a movement when when there's a clash of opinion. Sometimes things aren't as black and white as they seem at once, because you'll still have people that will today believe that Sandra Bland was a criminal and that she, as horrible as it is, you've got people that believe that.
Yeah, of course.
So when you've got a hashtag, it becomes an assumed hive mind. It's not necessarily a hive mind of opinion, but people kind of think
everyone thinks that way.
Yeah. If you support this hashtag, then you believe that that black people can do what they want, and there's no, all of this stuff that obviously isn't the case.
Yeah.
It's hard to, but then it opens up a space for discussion, which I think, like I say, is ultimately the best thing. I don't know. What do you think?
I think. So I kind of agree with you there, and I think that it's really difficult because we do need to have these conversations. I just don't know how much the internet is the best place for them. I think that a lot of nuance, but then at the same time, the internet makes these conversations so much more accessible because not everyone can be in, lectures and universities where those conversations typically happened. So I do think that there is a benefit to them, but then I think a lot of nuance gets lost, and sometimes it becomes about certain people's egos as well.
For the advancement of equal rights, we need to be, like you were saying about men being more open, we all need to be more open, because there's issues that you will go through as a person of colour that I will never go through in my life, just point blank, and there's things that I will go through that maybe you will never go through, point blank. I think we need to be more open when someone raises an issue because even we do it, we see things online and we think that's a load of crap or whatever. You're going too far now, you're asking too much. I think just before you do that, even just think about it for a minute, think about what they're actually saying, what the benefits would be and all that, before we dismiss it right away, no matter what the issue is. I think we have a responsibility to actually call things out as we see it, because a lot of us are very silent when it comes to
especially
witnessing. Celebrities too. It's hard when it's your own family, when you've got the maybe the racist or the sexist family member at like Christmas or whatever. You hear about that a lot.
Them out, if you can call them out, power to you. Safe position to call your I've got family members who I disagree with on every fundamental front. And I'm in a position where I can say that's rubbish. That is not what you should say. That's not how we should treat people. And if you can do that, that's excellent. But I know that not everyone is in that position where
it's really hard, isn't it? It's really hard because at the end of the day, family does mean a lot to many people, not to everyone,
but to lots of people. And what message of hope can we give? Because it's
pessimistic, isn't it? Sorry.
Sorry about it. What message of hope? I would say that things are changing.
100%.
Attitudes. If you think back to
Malala Yousafzai is doing a degree in philosophy.
Yeah. And I think that attitudes are changing, and not everyone in our generation thinks that taking steps forward is the best thing. But lots of us think the same way, that we should treat people equally, and we should treat the environment kindly, and we should make steps to be a more kinder and caring society. So lots of people think that, and I think that we should always take heart in that, because that's a step forward. That's more than nothing. At least it's not us against the majority. I think the majority of people do want to take steps forward, and they are open to say. I mean, if we look at 20 years ago, what it would be like to be a gay person compared to today, you can see that there have been steps forward, but we just need to keep making those steps forward. We don't need to be afraid of making more steps forward. So now, it's kind of trans people and being open and accepting of trans people, and also making sure that we don't take steps backwards. When it comes to rights for gay people and LGBT.
I do agree with you. A message of hope. Things are changing. Because we can see it even within our lifetime. Like I say, even in films from the 90s, the years we were born and stuff, will have.
Even if you look at Clueless, which is my favourite movie, but then the representation of the gay characters kind of it's so different, let's say,
Yeah.
to how that would be today.
Yeah.
And I think we can take heart about that. As in,
Yeah.
things are changing, and I can't see them going backwards. At least, in the media industry, that's always been a little bit more progressive, let's say, than the general
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, as horrible as the internet can be, we have got the power to put things, like even
Something
things
down.
like this video now,
Yeah.
the fact that we've got the power to put this out there and people can find it and watch it is a sign of change, I think.
A sign of steps forward.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think we're probably going to wrap up. Yeah.
So thank you for inviting me to chat with you and colour. Let's have a review.
Yeah,
of
let's
our
have
Let me just colour this.
the colour of it. Okay, we'll quickly finish.
Yeah. But I do think we can. I think we can end on a note of ultimate hope that the governments and the corporations may not necessarily be working with us to achieve the goals that we'd like, but we, as individuals, if we come together and we support each other and we celebrate each other and we listen to each other, we can make some really good progress.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about, like you say, being open.
Together.
Yeah, togetherness, all of it. Just doing what you can, because, like I say, a lot of the time, unfortunately, we don't have that much power. So even doing what you can, it's a start. And if you make a change, it might inspire someone else.
To make a change, yeah.
Like I said at the beginning, the people that inspire me the most are my friends, because I look at qualities in them that I don't have.
Yeah, and emulate them.
Yeah, definitely.
So with some kindness and some compassion and some love for other people, I think that maybe we can get through it. If not, if we can't change everything, we can get through it together.
100%.
Should we have a look at our outlook?
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. So I have
Go to this one.
burnt through 4 drawings. My first was my kind of tropical influenced, colourful rainbow,
She's so
dark
cute.
skinned Barbie.
I love her stockings. Like, I've got. This is
You've got
literally
Barbie
us.
as well. Oh, this is us.
This is literally us.
But then I think that you're more likely to wear that, and I'm more likely to wear this, right?
Yeah. Actually, you're right.
Although she is kind of wearing MAUDS, this Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May or may not have been inspired.
That's right.
Go on.
And then we've got a little bit of Princess Peach.
I love her. I love the pink highlights you've given her.
Yeah, there's a lot of green going on today. And she has the same, I did that deliberately, right? She has the same eyeshadow as you.
Star Pass. Love it. I've got some Powerpuff.
Oh, I couldn't remember the eye colours. I could barely remember the hair colours. There we go. Hey, we've got Clover. No, that's
Totally
Spice.
I love it.
We've got
Is it
Blossom, Buttercup, and
Bubbles.
Bubbles. That one's Bubbles, right?
I think so.
And then I was
Thick
currently
fans.
working on a Lana Del Rey. It's a little bit Fresh Prince inspired, isn't it?
That is so Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I love it.
It didn't start off as being Fresh Prince inspired, but it ended up being Fresh Prince. It's fine.
In West New York. I did Born This Way Gaga. Gave her some rainbow locks. Accidentally gave her a bruise. It's contouring.
That was the concert that she cancelled the Born This Way ball.
And then I drew Ariel as if, like,
She,
spent too much time with Ursula.
yeah, like a love child.
Yeah.
Poor unfortunate soul.
If Ariel was a poor unfortunate soul.
Yeah, in nude.
So yeah, these are our lovely drawings. It's like Gaga trying to hold her Grammy.
Yeah. Oh. You're the Beyonce.
Why can't she hold them? She's so extra. It's because I coloured them myself.
It's because I'm tired from all the video games. Video games.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, thank you so much for watching, Tish. I love you. Thank
Love
you
you
so
too.
much. You can buy both of our t-shirts on the website now. Mine says Tamathochi.
Mine says sisterhood.
Yeah, for all the 90s thotties. See you next time.
Peace.
Thanks.